Hey everybody, my name is Antony P, and today I think I'm just gonna decide to just go all in on this one. So sit back, feel tense, and enjoy the ride. So first, who am I and why am I talking about this? Good question, because credibility is important, and I have a little bit of it. For 4 years, I worked for the University of Dayton. I was trained for sexual violence prevention education and response. I was an intern at another university as their sexual violence prevention education coordinator. I designed and implemented workshops for students, faculty, and staff regarding power-based personal violence education and prevention. And I did my graduate school research on it for my master's degree. I've done a lot, and I've enjoyed it, and it's absolutely fundamentally changed who I am as a person, and I would not be where I am today without it. I also got a phone interview with MIT and their Title IX department. That's right, I interviewed for MIT to work there. That would have been crazy cool. However, they picked somebody vastly more qualified than me. But I got an interview, which means they thought I could do a good job. So that was exciting for me. Now, what is power-based personal violence? Power-based personal violence is when power is the primary motivator in an act of violence. We know rape isn't miscommunication, and it's not about sex. It's about power. And we know this by quite literally asking rapists, why do you rape? We're gonna start here. A lot of the misconceptions around sexual assault and sexual violence and victimization and repeat offenders, all of our knowledge stems from the fact that we've interviewed repeat sex offenders and we've asked them questions. So you have men saying that they're doing it, and then you have women that are saying that it's been done to them. So if you ever think that these are a bunch of women coming forward for whatever motivation, try to be compassionate and understand that the men have actually said that they've done it, okay? Now men, I kind of want to talk to you directly for a second. If you are afraid in all of this, it's okay to be. We are in the midst of a large cultural shift, which means the way you think about women, the way you interact with women, the way you build relationships, friendships, intimate partner relationships, is changing. Everything you know, everything you've been taught on television, everything you've seen in the movies is changing for the better.
Tell me more, was it love at first sight? Tell me more, did she put up a fight?
Let your guard down, leave your ego at the door, understand it is for the better. Men have never been abused in the same way that women have. Mostly. We've actually found that upwards of 1 in 5 men have actually experienced some form of childhood sexual violence. Shocking number. All of this is challenging, and let that be okay. Sit in the challenge. Don't resist challenge. Alan Watts said, I need to Google it, the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it. Move with it and join the dance. Another one. We cannot be more sensitive to pleasure without being more sensitive to pain. Understanding the negative gives us new context for the positive. He also goes on to say that when you resist change, that resistance causes an inner conflict. But when you let change move through you, something beautiful happens. Growth happens. And if you think you're not growing in life, you're wrong. Even if you're resistant to growing, you still grow. Think about the person you were 2 years ago. If you think you were the same person 2 years ago, you're mistaken. We are always changing, and be okay with it. Now, what does this mean? This means men, hey, catcalling isn't appropriate anymore. In fact, it's been known to elicit the same fear response in women that rape does. It is grossly inappropriate to catcall somebody on the street. Now, you might not understand why women feel threatened when you give them a compliment on the road. Well, I've got a clip for you.
I don't know. The thing that bothers me is the guys who get mad when other guys hit on them are the same guys who hit on women disgustingly all the time and then never understand why they're upset. So a man will yell at a woman on the street and then be like, oh, I just called her beautiful. Why is she upset? Well, because you might follow her home and attack her. That's why she's upset. It's reasonable for a woman to be upset when you yell at her on the street, you idiot. But we don't think of that. And so I think the way to understand it, I think the golden rule for men should be, if you're a man, don't say anything to a woman on the street that you wouldn't want a man to say to you in prison.
while he is a comedian, take it seriously, please, and thank you. I also want to touch on victim blaming for a second. If you've ever thought in your mind, well, what was she wearing? Did she have too much to drink? Did she go out alone? These are all easy questions, right? They're logical questions. This is what we first come to terms with. But remember, things are changing. And we have research to say that that doesn't matter at all. Here's a question I want to ask you. What woman has ever asked to be assaulted? None. Women don't wear clothes to be like, I want men to think I want to have sex with them. All they'd have to do is tell you, because men screw everything that moves. Now that's a stereotype, and I want to dispel that one right now. While it is true for a majority of men, there are many men that don't. Cool. Thanks. The thing is that many women are assaulted by people they know. Friends, intimate partners, husbands, family members. And we know through asking the men why they picked their target, and cleavage is not often the answer. Oh, their boobs were just too beautiful, I just had to rape her. Or I thought she wanted me to have sex with her. When I say these things, it sounds ridiculous, and to an extent it's because it kind of is. And going back to the point, the men that are doing this do it often. They do it a lot, and they do it repetitively, and they do it to many people. These aren't mistakes. As David Lisek says, these men do not need education on how to appropriately talk to women. They're predators. They're predators. The next, I'm not going to play a clip from The View. That's right, I've watched an episode of it, and I think it's impactful. Let's go.
Actually, people need to look in the mirror now and say to themselves, I mean, I have been watching this sexual abuse thing at the Catholic Church and now this continuously. These kids come out and they report it and nothing happens to the priest. As a matter of fact, they ship them off to another church. Now this woman comes out, nobody believes them. The President of the United States goes on the air and makes fun of her. This is the world that we all live in. So every single one of us who have a moral compass have to speak up and also snitch on people who are doing these bad things. And listen to children, and listen to women, and stop ignoring these type of accusations.
She didn't say anything that was really new. And you know, if you think women are coming out because of the fame aspect, what fame are they getting? Are they making money? Are they being praised? No, they're outwardly condemning themselves to a life of victimhood. Not a life I want to live. That would be challenging. That would be hard. Because you know there are thousands of people out there just like you publicly criticizing them. Is that fame you would want? No. No. So moving forward, what do we do? As white men, what do we do? One, consent is important. To assume that you have the right to a woman's body in any scenario, marriage or otherwise, is a grave misunderstanding of life. You don't have a right to anybody's body. Ever. Understand that. If you're in a committed relationship with a woman and you've had sex with her 20 times, that doesn't give you the right to have sex with her 21 times. Seek consent. Always. Care about what your partner wants. Seems like a big idea, but you can do it. I believe in you. In addition, don't shout at women on the street. Don't comment on their body or their looks. Unless if you've already have a good working relationship with them. A woman isn't going to fall in love with you because you say, wow, your ass is beautiful. It's not gonna happen. That's not what women are seeking. Do women want to know that men think their body is attractive? Sure, but there's a time and a place. And there's an easy way to say it. I think you're beautiful. Start with that. But also know that starting a conversation with commenting on a woman's attraction only leads the woman to believe that you are only talking to them because they're attractive. Newsflash, women have more to offer the world than their bodies. Women have more to offer the world than their bodies. Call me a revolutionary. It's what I do. Moving on, never assume that a woman wants anything. Ask if they want something. You ask questions all the time. You question women. Why are they coming forward 30 years later? I'm sure you can ask a woman if she wants to have sex with you. I believe in you. You're stronger than you think. I promise. Going back to the cultural aspect of this, rethink the way relationships work. This might be a stretch, but when you're building a relationship with a woman, whether it be a friendship or an intimate partner relationship, try to understand that the end goal should not be intercourse. Seek friendships before an intimate partner relationship. This will solve a lot of problems. One, you'll actually learn all about the person. You'll learn what they like, you'll learn what they're passionate about, what their life goals are, their aspirations, their political values, their religious values. Just really important things that people should know about each other. And then if the relationship ever ends up getting more physical, then you're more invested in the person and it's gonna be more meaningful. Seek compatibility emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, politically, before you seek one physically. There are 5 love languages, not 1. And these last 2 points I think are really important. 1, seek to understand women's experiences. That's what I spent 4 years doing, and it changed my life. I sought understanding, not judgment. Seek understanding, not judgment. I need to write a philosophical book. And last but not least, aim to be compassionate. When you see a friend abusing a woman, please stand up for the woman. You're not cock blocking, you're saving a life. You're not cock blocking, you're saving a life. Women are destroyed by acts of violence. A man's ego can take the hit, I promise. And more likely than not, that man abusing deserves to be in prison, where other criminals live. Do I think I covered everything? No. Do I have a lot more to say? Probably. But I think this is a good start. It all stems from this news article talking about the Me Too movement around the world and whether or not it took off and what it looks like. If you are one of the people that have agreed with everything I said and you know all this information, keep fighting the good fight. I wish you luck. Please share this video if it's been impactful and if you think people can benefit from it. The last video I posted on Facebook that had similar content was only shared by women. It is what it is. The way we end violence is by ending violent people. Like sex trafficking. We don't end sex trafficking by freeing women from sex trafficking. We end sex trafficking by ending the demand for sex trafficking. That's on men. Good luck out there. I have faith in our future. Life is hard. It will get harder, but that does not give us a reason to stop trying. See you tomorrow, everyone. I love you all.
Hi, you've reached Antony. Please leave a message after the beep. Thanks.